I'm Adam Mock, a 40-something-year-old film critic, and we're about to watch a movie that I think is going to make Mel very happy.
I'm Melanie Weir, a 26-year-old former theater major, and I've completely forgotten what we're watching this week already.
Well, you're about to find out, because we're about to make you watch
a podcast.
Welcome back to Made You Watch a Podcast, and this week it was my choice after Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde, which I kind of chose a little bit.
I was going to say you really could have gotten revenge on me for, but then I remembered that I didn't choose to watch that.
Well, you said you didn't want a girly movie, and I don't know if this counts.
No, not the way that I meant it.
Well, in case you're wondering, we watched 1996's Wachowski Sisters now, they were the brothers then, Bound, starring Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershan and the ever wonderful Joey Pantoliano. Pantoliano. I always want to call him Joey Pants. Joey Pants. So you didn't know anything about this film?
I knew nothing.
Okay.
I just got why it's called Bound.
Okay. So
just now.
We are just going to get right into it, and we're going to let you listen to the trailer, and we will be right back.
Something's going to come along like it was made for you. Something that's going to fit you like a glove. And that part of you that you got hidden away right now, that part of you that we know ain't straight, that's never going to be straight, is going to whisper in your ear. Just 3 little words. I want out.
Hi. My name's Violet. We heard you working in here, and I was just wondering if you'd like a cup of coffee.
An open invitation like Violet comes once in a lifetime.
What the fuck is...
Corky, this is Caesar Corky.
I thought... Fucking dark in here.
She's making an offer.
So Caesar's Mafia, huh?
I need your help, Corky.
Only a fool would refuse.
It's over $2 million.
Because all money...
Oh my God.
Look at his shirt. It's ruined.
...is good money.
You're asking me to help you fuck over the mob.
I'm gonna ask you 10 times.
I want out.
Just admit it.
What?
You lost it.
Where's my money?
If their plan succeeds, if they survive,
Sweet Jesus.
if they can trust each other.
I guess it was a job. Maybe the carpelas. All part of the business.
They are bound
I think I'm a dead man. I'm one in the back of the head.
for the pleasure.
You were nothing before you met me. Violet! You were nothing. You had nothing.
For the money.
I want what's mine. I want half the money.
For each other.
What did she do to you?
Everything you could.
Bound.
Welcome back, and what did you think of this movie, Mel?
Love this movie.
I had a feeling.
It's so gay. And not even in, like, the subversive way. It's just openly... Like, the first half hour is just porn. It's just really softcore porn.
It is 90s Red Shoe Diaries, like, just Cinemax shit.
I counted 3 boobs. Like, 3 nipples.
Yeah.
Like, on screen at a single moment.
One being Jennifer Tilly's and the other 2 being Gina Gershon's?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what this movie is about is a woman named Violet, played by Jennifer Tilly, who is a girlfriend to a mob boss. He's not a boss. He's like one of the money launderers.
He's a little... Yeah,
he's in the mob.
He's
Joey
better
Pants.
than an underling, but
He's like a mid-level
Yeah.
mob guy.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, and he's been with Jennifer Tilly for about 7 years, and a new girl moves in next door, but she's actually just there to fix up the apartment, played by Gina Gershon.
Yeah, he says something about welcome to the family at one point, and I have to wonder if they own the building and they hired her to do renovations because she was a prisoner and she won't call the cops or say anything or whatever.
Yeah. She just got out of jail. Her name's Corky, and
I don't think that's her real name.
For such a weird name, damn if Jennifer Tilly does not make that name sound good.
She's the only person who could say that sexy. She's like,
Corky.
Corky.
It's all breath.
Corky.
Oh.
And it's like her tongue is like permanently glued to her bottom lip when she speaks. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Jennifer Tilly. Oh, I know a lot of people can't stand her voice. I think her voice is the cutest thing in the world.
I think it's adorable up to a point. I can't hear too much of it going too fast, I think is my problem.
Yeah.
And also, I remembered her as, I couldn't figure out where I knew her from. Oh, I knew her from Liar Liar, which is not a good first impression to get of her voice.
Oh, that's right. I forgot she's in that. Mm-hmm. And she's also big on Family Guy. She plays like the neighbor's wife who's pregnant for like almost the entire series.
I was just watching Modern Family. Like last night, she was in the episode that I was in. She plays Shorty's wife, who I think eventually leaves him.
Shorty was who?
Jay's best friend, who moved to Costa Rica to open a juice stand. I think that was.
I kind of fell off of Modern Family towards the end.
I
the end of the show.
Never watched it before this year.
Really?
And it's insane because it's. I mean, like,
it's a good show.
If my family had been less Catholic, that's my family.
Yeah.
Like there are just so many people. Like my dad is Jay. Like it's wild how many things Jay does that I'm like, Dad. And then also when we were first watching the show, we were doing that thing where we all sit around and it's like, I'm more like this character, and Will is like such a Phil. And we were sitting trying to figure out which character I was, and then Will was like, oh, I'm Phil. And then I looked at Claire and I was like, oh no.
Will's a Phil.
Oh no.
Each with one L.
Because Claire Dunphy is the one character it took me longest to like on that show.
Yeah.
And I am definitely the most like her. I'm like Claire and Alex and a little bit, I don't know, Cam.
I can see some Cam in you. So this movie is about the ex-con Corky is basically renovating an apartment next door to I'm just going to call him Joey Pants.
Yeah,
I can't do his last
correct.
name. Joey Pants.
I mean, why would you not take advantage of that
She's
nickname?
fresh out of jail. She was a thief of some kind. I believe she was into money laundering too. And she got screwed over by her partner, ended up in jail. She just got out. Jennifer Tilly sees her in the elevator. The two of them have a little lock-eye moment. They're fuck guys.
Some
right
skirt
off.
shots with the man just staring unknowing into the oblivion as they lock eyes and up and down behind him. And it's a shot.
It is a shot.
They're really good at those POV shots.
Yeah. The camera work in this movie is beautiful. Wachowski's always knew color scheme, because there's a lot of color scheme in this.
Yeah, a lot of black and white and red.
Strange angles, setting mood. This was very early film for them, and it really shows like where they got to in their career and why they got where they are.
Yeah, what year was it?
1996. You almost choked.
So I was 1.
You were 1. I was 1996. I was 17.
This movie was incredibly ahead of its time.
Oh yeah,
in so many things, including I noticed the sink, the decor. Like they had one of those basin sinks that you see in Airbnbs now, and I was like, oh, what is this? I'm
hitting
sorry.
the springs. Sorry.
Boing.
Yeah. It's a very Art Deco apartment, which I
Yeah.
always love. I don't know about the red walls, which
And
is
there's red floors.
Red floors,
which
and
is-
all the baseboards were like either stark white and silver or black. The color schemes in this movie are crazy. Very. They said they were going for a very Frank Miller, Sin City kind of vibe with it. Back when it was just a comic book, because it was an all black and white comic with just kind of. I believe it just had splashes of red in it, or like if there was a primary color, they would just throw it in, like yellows and things, but it was mostly just inked black and white. And they wanted that look. And up until the end, that's pretty much just what Gina Gershan's wearing, what Jennifer Tilly's wearing, what Joey Pants is even wearing. And then when things get intense, their colors all change. Jennifer Tilly starts wearing like deep reds and
Yeah, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The lipsticks I noticed got more intense.
yeah. So Gina Gershan, she's working in this apartment. The walls are super thin, so you can hear she's hearing them have sex. And she's like, oh man, lucky guy. And then Jennifer Tilly comes over the next day with a couple cups of coffee.
She correctly guessed that she was straight black.
Good guess. And even though is it wrong to say butch?
No, it's not.
Okay, even though they're trying to butch up Gina Gershon, damn, is she gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. That's not an even though for me, first of all. Second of all, yeah.
They did, and she was going to play Corky originally.
Wrong.
And it was supposed to be her
Incorrect.
and Linda Hamilton was going to play Corky. She was going to play Violet. And then I think she dropped out last minute, and Gina Gershon was like, well, I'll play Corky if you're bringing Jennifer Tilly in.
Yeah, Jennifer Tilly is soft and
she's Betty Boop.
kind of, yeah.
I want a live-action Betty Boop movie
She's
from the
very
90s that she was in.
as a
That's what I
person.
want. How they never put her as a live-action Betty Boop when they were making all those terrible, like, Flintstones live-action and things. Right there, guys. It was right there for years. And she's great in this.
Like, she's just a series of very well-arranged circles.
And what's great about her is they play her kind of naive-sounding voice.
Oh, but she's so smart.
She is a player. And she even says, she goes... She starts hooking up with Gina Gershon, obviously, and they have one of...
Like I said, the first 30 minutes of the movie is just porn, and it's certainly there are certainly no dudes involved.
I felt a little embarrassed watching this in the office. Thank God it was just me, you, and Jess, and
Yeah,
Jess had her headphones
headphones
on.
on.
I'm like, don't turn around, you know.
I was at least like sitting eating my soup. I could look away from the screen.
And they didn't want body doubles. It was in the trivia. They brought in a person.
If I were them, I wouldn't want body doubles
what
either.
they call an intimacy consultant.
They call them intimacy coaches or intimacy coordinators now, but I believe you said it was a consultant then.
They called it something else back then.
Right.
And just to do the sex scene, because
another way they were ahead of their time by years.
Yeah, the Wachowskis. I'm just going to call them the Wachowskis because it's weird how they, even on IMDb, they've changed to sisters, even on this film.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be weird.
Seeing it in the movie, when I saw the brothers, I was like, oh, that's right.
But I think it's right to, in reference to this movie also, it feels right to call them the Wachowski Sisters because, I mean, that's what they were clearly demonstrating that they were.
Yeah, it foreshadowed.
No actual man could write lesbians... or women who love women this well.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the whole film is the lesbian gays. It's fantastic.
Exploitive and respectful in a weird way.
Yep.
Because the men in the movie, trans
women are very powerful.
They are. Even the men in this movie are very just macho, stereotyped mobsters. They're all like, "Hey, you stupid son of a bitch bastard," you know.
I really liked Mickey.
Mickey's
Mickey
my
was
favorite.
Cute.
Oh, Mickey, played by John P. Ryan.
He didn't die, right?
He's dead in real life, but at the end of the movie, Mickey lives.
I know the actor's dead
because he's the last one to get played, and in the sweetest
and he
way.
Just got a kiss. I love that he did not die.
Oh man, you have Chris Maloney in this.
Yeah, with hair.
He got a pompadour almost.
I just recently, unfortunately, saw him nude on a Peloton.
He was looking all right in that Peloton until he bent over.
I didn't want to see it. It was not for me.
Oh, then wait till I show you Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. He has a cameo in that I do not want to ruin.
Well, this version of Christopher Maloney, I don't think I would mind.
Oh yeah, I mean he's just
too bulky now for me. Like I'm not. I like tall, skinny.
He's a tough old guy now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. It's
when I'm older.
It's what I'm aspiring to be. Except the tough
part.
He plays the mob boss's son Johnny, and they don't get him and Caesar, who's Joey Pants, do not get along. They hate each other. But he has to not give him shit because he's the mob boss's son.
Yeah.
And
he's kind of acting like a little shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
He really is.
Well, no, he is a little shit.
Yeah.
He thinks who he is because his daddy is the mob boss.
Like at one point in the movie, he's like, "No, you were wrong to hit me. Say it.
Yeah.
Say it in front of my daddy that you were wrong to hit me and break my nose."
Yeah, but his father also says you have to earn the respect that Caesar's gonna give you.
That Caesar's gonna give you.
You know, he's old school. He's like Don Corleone old school.
Yeah, he kind of sounds like Don Corleone. Like, are all mob bosses kind of doing a Don Corleone impression, or is that just what an old world Italian accent sounds like?
Column A, column B.
Okay.
The movie is basically kind of a heist film. In a weird way, but
it's one of those ones where they outline the plot as you see it happening.
But it's a mix of like that old film noir, almost like a Diabolique, which is about two women who kill a guy, They're both one's his wife, one's his lover, if I remember the story right. They remade it with Chaz Palminteri a few years ago.
Didn't Carrie Underwood kind of write a song about that?
What, Before He Cheats?
Two Black Cadillacs.
Oh, I don't know.
No, Before He Cheats is a very different song.
I know. I was always like, shouldn't she be arrested for defiling a car that badly?
Nah. City slickers just don't get it. That is so pretentious.
That's the girl from Philly.
I'm from Delco. I don't know what I am, but it's not rural.
Shit, that's hilarious. Go get yourself a hoagie.
I'm also not a city kid, really.
You want a water ice after this?
I would love some water
Go to
ice.
Rita's, get a wood ice. So yeah, this movie is, I'm going to say it, this is like the dirtiest thing we're probably ever going to watch on this show.
It was really, really close to being
And when it first starts off, I was nervous because I'm like, I don't remember the whole movie being this, like, graphic and just that 90s, like I said, Red Shoe Diary, we're just showing boobs to show boobs and being sexy with the saxophone in the background.
There was gratuitous jiggling.
And Gina Gershon is, like I said, the butch kind of construction worker type. And Corky goes, I'm sorry, she's Corky. Violet goes, my boyfriend's gonna have $2 million and we should just steal it and get the hell out of here. I need a thief. You're a
Easy
thief.
as pie.
And you're gorgeous. And that's pretty much the premise.
And as a bonus, I won't have to screw you over later. I can just screw you.
Oh man, that scene with the tattoos. That's all I'm gonna say. That was sexy. That was legit sexy.
They established tension very well.
Yeah, they have. It's not even a meat cute. It's a meat like horn dog.
It's a meat fuck.
It is. Yeah.
It's a meat sandwich.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I thought I was gonna be the gross
regretted
one on
it
this episode.
as I said it. As it left my mouth, I wish that I had not said those words.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I don't even really know what I meant.
I'm not sure either.
It just sounded not right.
Oh man. Oh, way to bring it down. So, one of the men who was supposed to be laundering the money for the family, he's also sleeping with Violet.
Yeah, this is very confusing.
Yeah,
this is very confusing because he's just kind of in there.
Yeah.
And apparently she just does it because he's nice and she likes him. Is that what she implied?
And she gets money.
Yeah.
You know, she's getting paid for all this shit. She used to work at a club. That's how she met Joey Pants, and he ended up just taking care of her.
Yeah.
And all the other mobsters are in love with her. And it is her way around this world.
Yep.
By just playing dudes. And she's
a doe.
She's a 10 at it. So this guy... Wesley Wabbit. So this guy named Shelley, played by Barry Keevil. I knew him as the cokehead from Crocodile Dundee.
Which I've never seen.
Oh, we might have to watch it on the show someday.
I've heard it's weird.
Yeah, it's like the only thing Paul Hogan ever really did.
I feel like I've heard people like Hulk Hogan.
Paul Hogan.
Yeah, related.
He's the guy.
The son? No.
No, they're not related. One's from Australia, one's from California, I'm pretty sure.
I've heard Crocodile Dundee referenced, but I can't remember in what context.
It was basically the introduction of Australia to America in the 80s, and it was this mystique.
It took that long?
To make it popular. Did
we not know?
Like, where all that shrimp on the Barbie shit came from was kind of that era, and they just exploited it.
What did we think of it before? Just like, haha, Prison Island.
No, we really didn't. I mean, you just didn't really think about Australia that much.
Australia. My sister went to Australia when she was in 8th grade.
Really?
And while she was there, my dad remodeled our bedroom, and then I'm sorry.
No, it's me too.
My dad remodeled our bedroom, and then for a month in the summer, I got to sleep downstairs on an air mattress on the living room floor, and I just stayed up way too late every night watching The Nanny. I love The Nanny.
I love The Nanny too. Fran Drescher, man.
Maxwell Sheffield. Also Fran Drescher.
Okay, so Shelley stole the money, and he was going to keep for himself, run off, and they catch him, and they torture the living shit out of Shelley.
It's a lot of headbanging into toilet bowl and me looking away, and then they get the little...
And Chris Maloney just wrecking this fool.
Finger scissors.
Yeah, that's
Chris Maloney is taking genuine enjoyment out of it.
Oh, he's a complete psychopath. He is so into it. And he gets kind of the reason he and Caesar don't get along is just because he's dangerous. there's a scene where he's
a little punk. He
Yeah.
doesn't like a little punk.
And Jennifer-
He's privileged, doesn't realize what he's in,
and Jennifer
and makes
Tilly
a stupid mistake.
is listening to this torture in the bathroom, and she's like, I gotta
That's
leave.
it.
I gotta leave. And Caesar's
Good
like,
for you, babe.
no, I want you to stay. You should stay here with me.
Why does he think that a kiss on her shoulder is going to solve every single problem?
Meanwhile, he's going for like gardening shears to take this guy's fingers off, to find the money.
I don't take no enjoyment out of it neither, sweetheart.
And then Mickey comes in and he goes, do yourself a favor. Why don't you go for a walk? Get a drink somewhere, sweet. And he's like super nice to her. I mean, he's in a weird way one of the only redeeming mobsters in this movie, even though he's a monster too.
Mickey's classy. Mickey's like, I remember the way we used to do this.
Yeah.
We didn't used to make the women folks sit through this.
No. And he sends him away. He sends her away. She goes next door, and that's when they come up with the plan. But now Joey Pants comes home later that night, drenched in blood, a bag of money covered in blood.
Also covered in blood, yes.
And he tells the story that basically Johnny, who is Christopher Maloney's character, as Shelley was getting the money out of the safe, he blew his head off. I got blood all over me, so I punched that son of a bitch in the face. I punched the mob boss's son, and it felt so good. And he's like all proud of himself, but it's like, dude, you punched a mob boss's
That is
son?
not a-
You fucking psychopath.
Mickey liked it, though. I like that reveal at the end of the movie where he's like,
Yeah.
got him.
You really got him right in the face. So the plan is, he's literally gonna launder the money. He has to wash it all.
He has to wash it individually and press each one with an iron and then hang it up on string.
And then he's running it through the bill counter. He retapes them all with like the bank tape and everything. I mean, pristine, puts it in a Pelican case, locked up. The plan
Just
is
for Corky.
Gina Gershan is going to, the mob boss is going to come over, pick up the stuff, and leave. So she drops his favorite whiskey, which is Macallan. Drops it on the floor so that
Scotch.
she has to go out. Sorry, you're right.
I don't know why
You're right.
that was
No,
important,
you're right.
but it was.
I don't drink scotch. I drink more whiskey. And she's going to break the bottle, have to go to the liquor store, and that's when Gina Gershan will come in while Joey Pants is getting dressed, pick the lock, and I love her lockpick set. She has it on her earrings. So that's such a great little addition. Like, she's done this a few times.
It's so smart.
And where would she, like, rather than keeping them on her person, you wouldn't, guys don't look at your earrings.
Even if you saw that it was a lockpicking kit,
You wouldn't
your
think it.
first instinct would be like, oh, this girl thinks she's edgy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when people wear like a razor blade around their neck and it's like not even sharpened, you know, like, cause you know, cut your chest. Which I've seen people do, and I'm like, that's insane. I'd roll over on that in the night and be done. But yeah, so that she's supposed to go in, steal the money, replace it with a bunch of newspapers, and then say that Joey was downstairs and he must have come in and stole the money. That's the plan.
Because the second he gets in his brain that Joey took the money, he's going to know. That's anybody took the money. He's going to know in his gut that it's Joey because he hates his guts so damn much.
And he's going to out him to his father as a thief, and he'll be in the good graces. He won't get in trouble for punching him in the face.
No, I think that they thought that his first instinct would be to run.
Well, that was originally the idea. I think was like, yeah, how did it work?
They thought that his first instinct would be to run.
You're right.
And then that Johnny would think that he got the money and he would run, or no, the boss would think that he got the money, so he would run.
Yeah.
And then really Johnny would be...
It was a crazy plan.
Is supposed to think... We can cut this.
C's supposed to think that Johnny did it.
C's supposed to think that Johnny did it, but C is supposed to be running because he knows that Gino thinks that he did it.
Yeah.
And then Johnny is running because he's looking for C?
I think so.
Yeah,
It
and
was
then
something
Johnny's
along
looking
those-
for C, nobody's looking at
It's
them.
basically a one big shell game.
Yeah.
And it's actually a
I made
really...
this more complicated
It's a
than it
good
needed to be.
plan. There are some flaws to it,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it just goes to hell in a
Like, it's like,
handbasket.
it seems foolproof, but then you really look at it and it's like, actually, wait, there's a lot of not proof.
Well, one, now, Jennifer Tilly's stuck in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
Caesar pulls a
When
gun
is
out.
she supposed to leave?
She, I think, was supposed to leave. I think she was going to go out for something. Or there was like some way that she was going to sneak out. I don't remember. And she ends up basically watching him shoot the mob boss in the chest. He pulls a gun on the son and says, "He stole your money." And he's just like, you point a gun at my son? And he points at the mob boss and he's like, fuck, now I'm pot committed. He is so screwed.
Yeah, I feel like he had it salvaged up until he pointed the gun at Gino.
Yeah.
Because he points it at his son. If anything, if Gino can talk him down, it's now very clear that he didn't know the money was missing and that Johnny doesn't know what's going on. So at least there's a big mystery.
Yeah.
But I think if that happened, it would become pretty clear.
And one thing that I felt I was kind of bummed about, because I didn't remember it, but Gina Gershon, towards the end of this movie, doesn't have a lot of screen time.
She really doesn't.
It is Jennifer Tilly's movie to be had.
She gave up the bigger role.
And Joey Pants is unreal.
He's actually really good. I didn't expect him to have such a feature or to, like, get to be
so manic.
Yeah.
Because I was telling you earlier, I read in the trivia that he was told to watch The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which is about these guys who are panning for gold, and they all kind of go crazy and turn on each other. And he was supposed to be like Humphrey Bogart in that movie, who becomes the most crazy. And it's just this, you're screwing me, and you're screwing me, and like everybody's against him, and he doesn't know who to trust except for himself, and he's losing his mind. And he has to get rid of 3 bodies on top of that, one of which being a mob boss, the other one being the mob boss's son and an enforcer. Not let Mickey find out. Find the money. He doesn't know where the money is. The money's next door in the apartment that Gina Gershon's working in. And what does she do with the money?
At one point, he goes and searches Johnny's apartment, and he, like, destroys the walls.
He tosses it.
But Gina Gershon is a genius, and she puts the money in 2 different garbage bags and submerges them in cans of paint.
Yeah, 5-gallon buckets of paint, because who the fuck would look there? And it's already heavy. You're not going to hear it. It's kind of genius. And these guys don't want to get their hands dirty.
And she could totally just be carrying paint buckets in and out of the apartment.
Yeah. And she just has to sit there and listen to this whole ordeal, worrying that Jennifer Tilly's
through the bedroom wall, so she can't even necessarily hear everything that's happening in, like, the living area. I don't know.
And the only way that Jennifer Tilly can talk to her is by
calling her on the phone.
And that phone shot, where you see the phone
Spiral
cord
through the wire.
go through the wall, and then it's literally the other side of the wall. I love that shot. I think they must have built a fake apartment, because when they go over the wall at one point, it's a set. I mean, it's beautiful.
I was looking at a set when I was looking at that shot, and it was really nice.
And I would love to see this as a stage play. It would so work as a stage play. You said that at the beginning,
yeah. It would be really good and probably pretty easy to adapt.
You need like 2 sets. You need 2 apartments that are literally right next to each other.
And really, how many actors is that? That's...
You could rewrite it. You could rewrite it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who would be essential. The 2 women, Mickey... Johnny,
the dad,
C,
and whatever, and maybe the 2 cops.
And the 2 cops are a bit role, and then they could play any alternate roles that you need to write in.
It'd be a great little
cast
nail biter.
Of 8 and like a 2-room set.
Yeah, and that's what I used to love about independent film back then, and I think that's what I liked about independent film so much in the '90s is they don't write movies like this.
That could be plays. It's really hard to find, I feel like.
Highbrow and kind of sleazy and sexy and old school, like noirish. It's almost a detective movie, a crime caper. It's Hitchcock. It's Hitchcockian, if you want to call it that. It just sounds gross. But yes, it's a very Alfred Hitchcock style movie.
What would you call that if not Hitchcockian?
I think that's literally a term.
Oh god.
If it is, it's rough, but whatever.
Hitchcock-esque? That's not any better.
Hitchcock-esque. Any way you slice it, it's gross. But it's just it has such. You're sitting there sweating through this whole thing.
They add a lot of. I noticed this. This was very good. Kind of placebo effect kind of thing when they added the heartbeat sound in the background.
Oh, when he's just standing there in his towel and Mickey walks in.
They do it frequently. They do it a lot. They do it with her.
And whenever Caesar's going to make a bad decision, they zoom in on his face and he closes his eyes like, I'm not even going to look as I shoot the mob boss in the chest.
Which is actually a really good way of saying that we make all of our bad decisions when we panic.
And that's why she keeps calling him C. She keeps saying C, like, because he's not seeing straight anymore, and that's why they kept they wanted her to keep calling him C, And it was just short for Caesar. And she does that at Joey's apartment when he's just freaking out. She's like, C. She says it like 10 times. She's like, we need to go. And he calls Mickey saying, you know, they never showed up. I don't know what happened. And
weaving a web of lies.
He's just trying to cover this up as long as he can so he can find the money. And then Jennifer Tilly fucks up. I don't know why she keeps calling Gina Gershon on that loud-ass Bakelite phone that you can hear 3 blocks away. And she calls her and is like, Clarky, I really care about you. And they put their hands on the wall.
It's very cute and very dramatic,
it's a
but they
sweet
should
scene.
not have lingered.
But the problem is Joey Pants walks in and goes,
who was that on the phone?
Was that Mickey? Did you call Mickey? And she's like, no. She should have just said, I was going to get us a cab so we could get the hell out of here.
Yeah, like
probably
she
would have
had
been her best bet.
split second to think on her feet.
And she didn't say anything. He hits redial. They zoom in on that redial button, and you hear it ring. And this is when Gina Gershon's a moron.
Yeah,
because she hangs the
it.
phone up and then walks away from the phone knowing he's going to call again. I was just like, that was the one time in this movie where I don't understand for such smart characters why make such silly mistakes.
We make stupid decisions when we panic, when things
Yeah.
don't go according to our plan.
But that
we
was just
didn't
it.
expect that part of the plan because they let their guard down, because they were confessing something real to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
why it happened.
That makes sense. So Jennifer Tilly's like, he realizes, he goes next door, and Jennifer Tilly's like, I'm running. And she goes...
She bolts down those stairs.
Actually, no, that's not yet.
Oh.
I was wrong. That's when Mickey's supposed to had just left.
No, you're right.
It was, he had just captured Gina Gershon. He went next door.
Which is why it's called Bound, also, but also because of the bonds of love, but also
And
because she's literally bound.
They keep showing her tied up throughout the movie, and you don't know why she's tied up.
Much of this is flashback.
Yeah. And he's doing the same thing. I'm going to cut her fingers off if you don't tell me where the money is. And he's just being abusive and saying horrible homophobic slurs.
Yeah.
And I mean, that one shot
Your
where
kind can't be trusted.
when he just looks over and he goes, "Wake up, you D-word." And I was just like,
Here,
I can't say it. I'm not allowed.
The camera goes, I have to say it because you have to get the full effect of just like, the camera is zoomed this close to his face.
Oh, it's all the way.
Like it's some kind of weird Snapchat filter. And it's like what's
And
the
it's
word for
blurry.
a shot on a weird angle?
Oh, like almost a Dutch angle.
It's a Dutch
but
angle
it's
shot.
just looking straight up at him.
And it's like, wake up, don't.
The way he says it, he sticks on that D hard.
It's like, it's almost so much that I couldn't feel like the of the word that you're supposed to kind of feel, because it was so, the combination of things was so funny to me.
Yeah.
Because you could take that out of context and it would be a meme on the internet in 20 seconds.
I said, why, for all the kind of like memes of gay icons or any kind of meme, how have these two never ended? Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly not been on a T-shirt.
I really don't know. I don't get it. I mean, maybe I need to do a deep dive.
They might be, but I never saw it growing up.
I certainly don't profess to be any kind of expert on any.
I'm just
of these
amazed
things.
I'm amazed you don't hear about this movie more.
Yeah.
Especially
I've
because
literally never heard of this.
the fame the Wachowskis have later in life.
Yeah.
Because they wrote The Matrix right after this.
Yes.
This was this movie, and then they were in the middle of writing The Matrix.
And it's like, everybody knows they're trans women. You would think that more people would point to this movie, and it's like, and if you look at Exhibit A...
Yeah, and instead they're always going, oh no, it's Neo is this, and then they always go to The Matrix, and it's like, no.
Go to The Matrix!
Go to Bound, and all your questions will be answered.
It's you don't even have to ask any questions. You will know in the first 10 minutes.
And this movie is just a pot-boiling nail-biter. Like, you
Yeah.
do not know, because as crazy as Caesar becomes, he's still intimidating as hell. Even though it's Joey Pantoliano, and he's Joey Pants, I can never say his last name.
Just Pantoliano.
Pantoliano. Joey
Wasn't how I
Pants.
expected it to be spelled the way it was said.
But he's, for even a diminutive guy, he's terrifying.
Yeah, he gets crazier. He gets scarier as he gets crazier.
And I don't think he would be as scary with the guys as he is with the women.
Yeah,
You know, because like Jennifer Tilly, as smart as she is, she's not beating him in a fight. he knocks her to the ground and holds her down with like no problems, and then they're like the
Unfortunately,
same height.
Gina Gershon too.
Gina Gershon almost wrecks
She
him with
holds
that
her
pipe,
own.
with the pipe wrench.
Yeah.
Oh, that was brutal. Like, she took a chunk of that wall out, and he ducks it, gets hit in the hand, and then just decks her and knocks her
Hers
out.
was more bad luck, but he does take them both out.
But she was smart. She takes the money out of the bags, and then sneaks next door with her boots, walks through the paint that he pours out on the floor, and then, like, takes her boots off. And then just sneaks up behind him. He's like, yeah, you saw that coming.
Yeah, he did duck.
But that's not before he has to clean up all the dead mobsters. Mickey's on his way up. He wants to see the merchandise. He's in a towel. He said, Violet knew I was a little nervous because I didn't know where everybody was.
So she was
helping me out a little bit to relax. Oh, man. And they're like...
And Mickey's like, I wish I had a woman like Violet to help me relax.
Oh, it's just... And
it's been years since I relaxed.
And then I love the fact that he's standing there in his towel. He's got his hand on the gun. You're hearing his heart beating. He's making drinks for everybody. And she calls him. Jennifer Tilly calls him. She's putting makeup on in the other room and goes, "Hi, it's me, Gino, the mob boss," and tells him basically they were in an accident. We're gonna find them. Everybody, it's just bruises. Don't worry about it. Just tell them what I'm telling you right now, and we'll get the hell out of here. And so they believe the story. Mickey and his cohort leave, and now that's when Jennifer Tilly's like, "I'm gonna get the hell out of here," because she needs to get downstairs. So she starts running down the stairs.
Goodbye!
And Joey can't shoot her. Caesar can't shoot her because Mickey will hear it.
Yeah.
Because he's in the elevator. Then she does the best thing, jumps back in an elevator and goes back upstairs to untie Gina Gershon, who already untied herself. And that's when the whole...
While she's calling Mickey and saying, Caesar did it! Did that already happen?
She was... I forget. How did it
Caesar
happen?
gets the upper hand somehow.
Caesar gets the upper hand. Oh, that's what it is. They're in the other apartment that's getting renovated that has the paint everywhere. And he's about to shoot Gina Gershon. They get into a little tussle. She knocks the gun away. He goes for her pearl-handled pistol. And Jennifer Tilly comes in knowing... no, she doesn't have her pistol. Because the pearl-handled pistol is in the freezer. He put it in the freezer.
Yeah,
Jennifer Tilly takes it out. And he's like, "You're not going to shoot me, Vi. You could never shoot me. You're not like that." And she goes,
because he thinks that this dirty lesbian came in and corrupted his good girl. Not that this woman could have been faking her orgasms for 7 years.
What did she do to you? It's such an old world, like, what?
My sweet innocent little Bambi was corrupted by this sick perverted freak.
And she's like, she made me feel good.
She's like, bro. She gave me what you couldn't.
Exactly.
I could not be. And then he starts talking about the house, and it's like, dude, I don't know how she could have spelled that out for you clearer, but
seriously.
okay.
So
then she's like, they could fill a book with the shit you don't know. That's not what she actually said.
She just goes, "You don't know shit about me," and puts one right in his chest, and then keeps pumping him full of lead. And it's this beautiful slow-mo shot of Joey going backwards into this giant pile of white paint.
Yeah.
And you see the blood. It's usually the other way around. It's usually a white floor with red. And it's the opposite in this. And it's beautiful. It's a red floor, white paint, and then you see blood shooting out of the squibs. And it just makes this kind of like cool like spin art on the floor.
Yeah, which it feels weird to be satisfying, and yet...
But he's such a piece of shit. And, and then Jennifer Tilly picks up the phone and goes, "Mickey, you gotta come back. He made me do it. He said if I didn't help him, he was gonna kill me, and he wanted to fuck all of you over." And of course Mickey believes her because it's beautiful Jennifer Tilly, and she's got a couple bumps and bruises on her.
She's a sweetheart, and she was helping him to relax.
Oh, and he goes outside, and he's like, I could take care of you. And they're having he's being really sweet and scummy at the same time because he is in love with Jennifer Tilly.
It's sweet when you know that he is not a man who would force himself on her.
And he wouldn't abuse her. Like, he's actually like a decent dude. He's just a mobster.
He's just being a puppy.
Yeah, he's not like, he doesn't talk shit like the other guys.
Yeah.
Like, he is logical. He's calm, cool, collective. And probably a better choice besides the age difference than it would have been with Joey Pants.
But
So she basically goes, nah, I gotta get out of town. I can't, I gotta get away from the life.
you got to get away from the light.
And he's like, well, if you ever need anything, call me. Gives her his card, and she just kisses him on the mouth so lightly.
He doesn't react.
She kisses like his upper lip, and he's so in awe, his mouth is open like, are you serious?
Like a
This is
fish.
happening right now? It's this punch in the face. This old man just wanted that, and he can die happy right now.
Which he did after this movie.
This
The
was his
actor.
last film, unfortunately. R.I.P. John P.
Not
Ryan.
to just immediately bring the mood down again.
But so she goes around the corner, sees Gina Gershon looking all like greaser cool. Because I think she was actually.
Ladies.
She said she was kind of going for an Elvis James Dean type vibe, and she pulls it off. Shit, I think I had her hair cut when I had long hair. And she's sitting there in her leather jacket, and she goes, "You buy it?" And she goes, "He bought it." And she puts her big old sunglasses on. She's looking hot. She's looking sexy. She hits the button, and whoop whoop, brand new truck. I love that. Was awesome. And it's just like, but you should never spend the money you've just stolen. That's how they track it. They say it in every mob movie. You bought your girlfriend a new fur coat? Take that shit back along with the Cadillac. It's all through Goodfellas. There's a whole thing about it. You have to wait a little while. Let the heat die down.
You gotta let the money get cold.
But they
Gotta
all
let the
think
trail go
they
cold.
still think Joey's alive. Joey
Yeah.
Pants is alive, and they're gonna look for him. And they know she's pissed, scared because he's probably looking for her, but he's dead. They got rid of it.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie. But there are so many great little moments that we didn't really talk about, like when Jennifer Tilly first meets Gina Gershon, and she says, "I notice your hands. You have hands like my father. He could fix anything. He was a tinkerer." And she's like, he was like the only man in her life I think she ever really respected and she kind of had like a daddy thing for her.
I missed that dialogue, A, and B.
Because they zoom in on her hands, and they're all kind of... It's right after she was plumbing the drains.
I think I have heard that line quoted before, but I can't remember where.
I don't know. But she's like... And she's just kind of enamored with her. She's talking about her tattoos, and they're showing each other tattoos, and...
Her first tattoo
Oh.
was right on her boob.
Right
So
on
that
her
was
boob.
just an escalation right there.
hurt like hell.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I love this movie top to bottom. It's got little nuances. Oh yeah, tops and tails. And it's not exploitive.
No.
And when I first saw it when I was 17, I kind of felt it was. It's made by two brothers. You have no clue who they are because
I
you've
feel
never
like
heard of them before.
You wouldn't be wrong to have that instinct.
And then they made
going
The
in.
Matrix, which is masculine as shit at certain points because it's just guns and blowing shit up and stuff. Besides having Trinity there, it's a masculine movie. It's a guy film that everybody loved, and they were great at just spanning that fence, and
That's why trans women are powerful.
Well,
one of the reasons.
But looking at it now, when I was a kid, I'd look at it and go, "It's lesbians screwed over the mob. This is so hot. It's two women, two actresses
I still think
that I
that.
love seeing naked. So I'm 17 and this is the best." I had this on VHS. I'm pretty sure. I think I still in my garage might have a VHS. And I've seen this movie a ton of times, but I haven't seen it in probably 10 years. And I really revisiting
You were
this.
saying you were wondering how it holds up.
I
now.
was nervous because I remember it being as intricate as it was, and I didn't know if it was just because I was young
Yeah.
and stupid and I was still in my Reservoir Dog, Pulp Fiction, Tarantino phase, where this was every movie that came out. But this movie is different. It's ahead of its time. It's pretty well crafted. The acting is phenomenal, especially from Jennifer Tilly, who always has to play dummies.
Yeah.
But not in this. It's all an act, and she's at that, even with that voice, and she's explaining the plan. You're still like, oh my god, you're a genius. You're actually like super fucking smart. This is all a ruse. I love this woman. Like, how could you not fall in love with Jennifer Tilly?
I
in this?
love a bimbo who is smarter than everybody.
Oh
in the room.
god, she's just stunning in this, and Gina Gershon's great. And Gina Gershon doesn't get a lot of beefy roles like this, and it was great to see her in it. Joey Pants is Joey Pants, you know. I mean,
he is Joey Pants.
It's just, this is a great, great little thriller, and I wish more people took the time to make things like this nowadays. I don't think we dumb a lot of shit down for people. We worry so much about if we're being offensive, if we're being progressive, and this and that. And this just went for it. It was progressive.
I think the reason, though, that you can't ignore, that you can't, like, underscore any better, is that the reason it was actually good, and I said this while we were watching, is there's this kind of internal truth that isn't really, like, a truth so much as, like, a state of being, I guess, that you can, like, feel in a piece of, like, a movie or a piece of art of any kind that, like, somebody put themselves into genuinely.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing a lot these days, because movies are, like, devised in boardrooms, or, like, have to get approved by 12 people before
And
they
have
go.
to have, like, the top young stars in it. Nobody's really young in this.
This is just a bunch of people who got together and had a vision and were like, this is what I want to do. This is the story I want to tell. And I wish we could return to that more.
I mean, they are young, but they don't look young. They don't look young. Who would you put in this nowadays that doesn't look like they're 25 fucking years old? You know, like a Tom Holland wouldn't fit in a movie like this.
Well, no.
Like, I'm saying our leading men and leading women nowadays don't look mature enough to pull something like this off to the level that this does. You know, everyone's age appropriate.
There's just so many. There must be so many dramatic actors who I am unaware of.
Oh, I'm sure there are, but I mean, and people generally do look young nowadays because we all quit drinking and smoking. Well, some people did, but you know what I mean. Like we take better care of ourselves, so we do look younger.
Have like special skin people.
You know, but also back in the day, you had old actors playing high school students, you know?
That was weird. I'm glad that we're not doing that anymore. How do you do, fellow kids?
But this movie, just everything about it is appropriate. It works.
It's all genuine. Like, that's down to the... And it's because, they weren't out yet, but trans women made the film, and the lesbian gaze was real. It's authentic. It's a movie made by and for the audience. Yeah,
and it wasn't exploitive in the female gaze, the male gaze on the females.
No,
because they're really just showing a blossoming relationship that at the time you'd look at it like it's softcore porn.
And it was heavily sexual.
But,
that was how they bonded.
And
they actually made that intensely clear. It was made very clear to me that was the bonding process.
Oh yeah, and when they pitched this, what was really screwed up is the studio said, no, why don't you make Gina Corky a guy?
It would never work.
And that's what they said. They go, well, that's been done a million times. What's the point?
Why is that fun? That's just one guy fucking over some other guys. I'm not interested. She's being used as a pawn.
You have to remember who's running Hollywood, even independent film, you know? I mean, this was, I believe, an Aaron Spelling production, which is crazy.
Fascinating.
You know? He gave us things like Now 2-0 and Tori Spelling.
It really is very interesting.
But, yeah, I really like this movie a lot. I wouldn't put it in like the echelon of like greatest thrillers ever, but I'd rate it pretty high. I want to say this is a 9 because I was impressed with the rewatch on this. I had a really good time with it, and it held up and actually was more woke knowing what I know now than what I knew then. It comes full circle in a very cool way.
Yeah, I think that's what's really interesting. Like, if you're if you're an indie filmmaker and you want to make a risky movie and you're like, oh, this will never work because of how this will be perceived. Like, I don't want to say just make it anyway because of how people's reputations work now, but, like, this is proof positive that if you do make it anyway, if you are actually genuine with it and, like, good at making movies, it will stand the test of time. It will eventually, everything will come around and it will hold up. Somebody will get it.
And it's a good mob movie.
Oh, it is!
It has something literally for everyone.
Doing the voices.
Yeah,
And
it's it's for a rated R audience, but there's a little bit for everybody in this picture.
Yep.
You know, and I sound old because I called it a picture.
Picture.
So what are you going to rate Bound? Mel?
I'm going to give this, I think, a solid, I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
It would get a 9. It's not really my genre.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't rewatch it unless I were showing it to someone.
That makes sense.
Like, I wouldn't just put it on.
Yeah.
But I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it exists. And I wish more people knew about it.
Yeah.
More people should see this. As a matter of fact, I probably will end up watching again because there are a few people that I want to show it to.
Oh, I'm sure. It's
If they haven't already seen it.
it's a curio from the 90s that a lot of people forgot
I
about.
don't know why.
It kind of came and went. I don't think it got a lot of theater time, and the Wachowski brothers weren't a thing, or
There'd be so
the
much press
Wachowskis
there.
were not a thing.
It's so weird because it's like it missed the fanatical press of like gay things being in the spotlight again.
But what a calling card! I mean, for the Wachowskis, this is a great calling card. I never would have guessed they'd make The Matrix, but holy shit, you know? I mean, they changed the landscape in a lot of ways that no one really thinks about. Because they've kind of fallen off a little late in life, you know. I mean,
It's unfortunate what they did to that. I know they said The Matrix Reloaded. One of them was like, I can't believe they fucking did that to us.
all of them are terrible after the. I really believe that there's no other movie but The Matrix. I block the rest of them out. That's all fanfic to me. I can't do it. I know what they were going for. It's highbrow sci-fi, and I get it. It was just mismanaged, top to bottom, and I hated it. And that last one, I just couldn't get into it. It was too meta. It should have just been left alone. You know, I didn't vibe with me. But the other two didn't either. So, you know, and I just can't take Neil Patrick Harris as a bad guy in that movie. It's laughably funny. And I love Neil I love Neil Patrick Harris, but
think
damn.
Neil Patrick Harris, and I could eat my words because he's a fantastic actor.
He is.
But I think Neil Patrick Harris's chances of playing an actual convincing villain that I didn't want to laugh at a little bit sailed away when he did Dr. Horrible's sing-along vlog.
Have you ever seen Gone Girl?
No.
Watch Gone Girl.
He
becomes a villain in that. And he's not even the villain of the movie.
I'll have to see if I can genuinely hate him because it's really hard for me to see him in anything other
he's
than
a piece of
slightly
shit.
silly light.
You will hate his guts in that movie. He's really, really good in it.
See, what did I say? He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, and he's playing a straight piece of shit. He's not like he's like going for the girl and really trying to like manipulate her.
He plays straight so easy.
Oh, but you've never seen Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. He is like pea hound in that. Like he is a pussy hound in that
I
movie.
have seen How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, he's that.
I'm not a fan.
He's that character, but 10 times worse and playing himself.
Like not a sitcom character we're supposed to like.
He's playing Neil Patrick Harris behind the scenes. Kind of like Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23.
I don't know that show.
Oh, you've never seen that? Oh, that's going to be... I'm going to
I
make you watch
know
that
the
one day.
SNL sketch that references it, like with the firemen where Bill Hader is like, the kids don't... What is it?
I have no idea.
He screams.
Oh,
He just does a lot of screaming. It's the gay fireman.
Oh, yes, I do kind of remember that now.
They canceled Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23!
All right.
I love Bill Hader.
So next month, we're going to do something special for September. After doing Legally Blonde 2, we kind of came up with this idea of hate watching stuff that we really... recommending things we don't like to one another.
Because the hate watches, as much as I hate watching the movies, we listen back over the recordings and we're like, this is fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to hate watch things once in a while. And we're going to do Sucktember.
Yes.
For September, it's now
So
Sucktember.
get excited.
And you get the first
You're gonna be
movie out.
Listening to this in September also, because by the time it comes out, but like Labor Day doesn't count.
No.
None of that.
So, what are you going to give to me for Sucktember?
Adam, are you ready?
I'm scared. I'm scared.
I'm going to give you one of the last movies. I don't think it was the last movie because I think there was a Pixar movie that came out right before. But one of the last movies I ever saw before COVID.
Okay.
In theaters. It's Cats.
Oh, now and forever at the Winter Garden Theater.
Not except
Cats.
No.
I know, that went real fucking quick.
Yeah.
That was some false advertising.
Now and forever.
I've never seen Cats the musical. I remember hating the music in it and thinking it's the dumbest shit ever, and I saw those commercials for years.
Terribly sorry about
Those
that. I at least
terrifying
missed the commercials.
leotards. And in this one, I've seen the trailer. I meant to watch this during COVID and get very stoned for it, and I never got around to it. I cannot wait to watch Cats, just because I've been wanting to see how stupid this is.
I went to Cats high out of my mind.
Of course you did.
What? Okay, in what other status could you see that movie?
Hold on.
It wasn't done. We knew for a fact it wasn't done.
Yeah.
So, like...
Oh, wait, it wasn't finished?
No, okay, when it came out, it wasn't finished. Because people went into the theater and they're like, some of the cats still have human hands.
Oh, that's right.
Has anybody noticed that? The VFX team had to go in After Effects, go, shit, we gotta give him hands, we gotta give him paws.
And it's the last time that Rebel Wilson really had to debase herself in a movie.
Yeah, thank God.
Oh my God, that where she's dancing and she just falls on her ass. Her and James Corden.
And it's like, ha 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 ha, being sad is so funny.
I don't like James Corden.
This was where he lost me.
Oh, he lost me years ago. I liked him when he was in a show called The Wrong Mans. It was like a BBC show. I thought it was pretty funny. I can't take him in anything else.
I liked him in Doctor Who. I thought he would have made a really good companion the couple episodes he was on.
I don't even remember he was in that.
You didn't watch the Matt Smith seasons.
No, I did.
Oh.
I don't remember him. He wasn't a thing yet.
Oh.
When I saw it, he wasn't a thing. They were still kind of making
He
them.
wasn't really a thing when I saw it. I just recognized him. I kept recognizing him because he was in that, and then he was a baker in Into the Woods.
And he used to be on a show, I think, called... I might be getting this wrong. Ned and Stacy, and then they made it in the States.
I don't know that one.
And it got remade with Thomas Hayden Church was in it.
But he got a talk show. And I just don't like his... I don't want to say I don't like his personality, because, like, that's mean. I don't know him. But I don't like his TV persona.
Okay.
It feels like eating a candy apple.
I just don't find him funny.
Yeah.
I find him grating. I really do. I don't know why we're going to be hating on James Corden
I
next
don't want
time.
to hate on him. He seems like a very sweet man. And again, I like his acting.
Listen, I'm sure he's a doll.
I really like his acting.
There's plenty of people that I probably think are the nicest people in the world that I just don't like them on screen. You know what I mean? And I just... That Idris Elba's in it, right? Taylor Swift is in this?
Taylor Swift is in it very briefly.
Thank God. Sorry, I'm not a big...
Dame Judi Dench.
I know, I don't like Taylor Swift that much.
Oh,
Jason
Derulo is in it, and he was very sad that they edited out his package out of the jumpsuit.
Jason
Derulo.
Oh, okay. I remember him being in that. I think I asked my girlfriend the same thing. I'm like, wait, who's that?
He was like, why didn't you give me a cat penis? Like, he didn't say that.
A cat package?
But he was like, I looked really good in the jumpsuit, and they edited out my bulge. What gives? It's like, dude, you're a cat.
Well, that's like, you know how they like do underwear models for dudes?
I don't want to know.
They put a cup down there so you don't see the shape. and I knew a guy who was a model, and he said, yeah, there were a lot of wardrobe dudes who would like cop a feel doing that to you because they would always have a guy do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can do it myself. I've
like,
done
bro,
enough
that
of
doesn't
these."
make it any better.
Yeah, he was just like, it's some
in
creep
fashion.
shit.
Having a guy do it guarantees nothing.
It's some creep shit. But yeah, so next time we're gonna look at cat packages. We specifically are not going to do that. They made sure that was at least one thing we didn't have to do when watching Cats the Musical, the movie. Yeah, and they didn't leave the cat buttholes in either. Because that's the one thing you always see on the cat. The cat will always show you its butthole.
And
This is getting more messed up than the Bound conversation.
yeah, we should go. But I will say, when I saw this in the theaters, I laughed and I cried. And this will be the first time I'm watching it since.
I'm going to laugh probably through this whole thing and scratch my eyes out simultaneously. Because this is
on theme.
I have a feeling this is just pure nightmare fuel.
And I will also say this was one of my first articles that I wrote on movies professionally.
Really?
And I do think the movie fixed a few things that the musical kind of left, like, plot-wise.
Yeah. I mean, it's based on a short story or something.
No, a book of poems.
Yeah.
I believe, by T.S. Eliot. But anyway, I think the movie fixed some plot things that the musical was missing, and that's all I'm going to say until next week.
So next week on the show, we're going to watch Cats. Wow. All right, so... Oh, God, I'm going to have enough of that next week, Mel. Let's not start the party early. So, here we go. I've been Adam Mock.
I have been Melanie Weir.
And we just made you watch...
Podcast.
See you next time.
Wow.
Yeah, I know the song. I'm not proud of it.
Thank you for yes-anding.
I do my best. See you next time.